Yeah, Prophet Marchello and Currence back at it. So, this video is gonna be straight to the point. It was something that I was thinking about earlier, and it came back to my attention. I wanted to talk about the refeeding process and fasting. Refeeding process is a term not that I coined, not slang. It's not informal terminology. Refeeding is what you do after an extended fast or a long-term fast. It's not an option. So it's not something that you could decide to do or not do. So my challenge is to the American church for all these years to why they never talked about the refeeding process. There was all these messages and even books. I've read a book on fasting that talked nothing about the refeeding process. If a person doesn't refeed, they die. They could die. You can't just eat a burger after a fast. You can't just you can't just eat a whole bunch of junk food, pizza. You can't even do that. You have to start out with liquids and broths and soft foods with soft textures. You have to start out eating liquids in the beginning. So it's like I can go through a list of people that will talk about extended fasting. When I say extended fasting, I would even say starting with 3 days because I've gotten sick from doing the wrong things with 3 days of fasting. But that was just my wrong judgment. It wasn't that I wasn't aware of refeeding. I mean, with the lower fasting, you could get have more complications, even though it might not be that serious because of you just underestimating the fast because it's not really a long-term fast like 5 days or better. Okay, so when you look at all the messages that have been done, when I say look at all the messages, I'm talking about all these messages that was on TV. All these Christian messages, excuse me, that was on TV over the years. For perfect example, you might have a pastor that say, have a message on fasting. So he starts the message, and he's just going. This is like on TV. This is like on TV. He starts his message. And it's all about the key power points of what makes a fast successful and the reasons why to do it and how it's attacked and everything like that. And then he'll get into the scriptural basis of the fast, the biblical basis of the fast, and then he might improvise and freestyle at the end and preach at the end. And he walks away. This is still all watching preaching on TV. They'll walk away with not talking about the refeeding process. And here's why you need to talk about that anytime you do a message on fasting. The reason why you need to talk about it is because you will find zealous Christians out there that will do their own length of fasting. And although you was talking about whatever you was talking about, and they didn't know about the refeeding process, and they could die. So it's like if people were really on the expert levels of fasting, why didn't they talk about refeeding process? Because I know you gotta go, you gonna go through it just like everybody else. I know you gotta go through it, and with a long term fast, you can't just come off a 30-day fast or a 21-day fast or a 7-day fast or a 2-week fast and just eat chips. You can't do it. Your body can't break it down. I'm trying to show you that makes me doubt a lot of people who ever talk. Like, I'm not saying that they not doing it, but how is it possible that they don't talk about it? You get my drift. How is it possible that they can walk away from talking about fasting, and you're an expert fasting person, and you fast on expert levels, and you know what you got to do in your own personal life when you come off a fast, a long term fast. You gotta have this refeeding process time, which is half of the time that you fasted, right? That's the science behind it. Okay, so if you fast for a week, you have to do 3.5 days of refeeding, and it works just like an egg timer. Bing, every time. It's science. It has to do with the body. It has to do with mathematics, science that God made. So it's just unbelievable that, these pastors who's supposed to be seasoned in expert fasting, they'll tell you they did 21-day fastings. This is a perfect example. I've talked to many people that would say, I've done this type of fasting, that type of fasting, woo, 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 right? Okay, but they've never talked to you about the refeeding syndrome, where if you eat too much or eat the wrong things, you could die, or you could get diarrhea, or you could vomit, you could have all kind of complications. It makes you doubt what people really were doing, because see, that's going to be a part of it. That's like going to be a very intimate part of it. That's going to be a very real part of it, right? So if you how can you have extended fasting, but you don't talk about this real part? You see what I'm saying? That's how I want to say it. How can you not talk about this real part? It makes me doubt it. Like, it makes me doubt what people are doing. Like, do people ever even do? Are people really doing it? It really does, man. So yeah, I didn't want to take that off the charger. It just kept flipping around. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's to me, it's no case that you could be. I don't see how a person can walk away from preaching about, especially preachers, without giving that kind of information. Because see, what'll happen is people will form their own fasts, right, with your information. And that's the reason you would say, now with the refeeding, after you get done preaching, after you get done going to the word, then you come in and you spend 20 minutes on, I'll say, for 15, 20 minutes to talk about the refeeding process, right? So that's like part of it. It's like, it's no way in the world. I don't see how somebody can. If you really understand how real it is, how real refeeding is, how can somebody leave it out? It makes you doubt the whole situation, because see, if you was an expert fasting person, I don't believe in nobody fasting but me. And I'm not being arrogant when I say that, man, because you'll have people that say, I fast for 20 days. Okay, so what you do so then when you came off the fast, what you eat? I'm starting to doubt everybody. Unless I'm really, man, because if you fasted that long, you're gonna be talking about the refeeding process. You're gonna be talking about the real process. And you ain't gonna come off no 7-day fast eating chips, eating pizza. You can't do it, you'll die. I always give the story of the man that came off the I don't know how long the fast was. I'm gonna research it again to see how long the fast was. But however long the fast was, he came off his fast and he ate KFC chicken and died in a matter of, I'm guessing, hours. He didn't live for months and go into a coma and all this kind of stuff. I don't think that was the case. So when I hear people talk about themselves fasting and you don't talk about what you ate and how you had to take precaution, you couldn't be 2 days. You got to do it half of the days that you fasted, which means if you did a 21-day fast, you're gonna have to do 10 days and a half. Yeah. You're gonna have to do 10 days and a half. Okay? But I did 11 days. I think 10 days and a half, I think once you get to like 3 weeks, you might have to give that extra little. But by 11 days, I was good. I say give it the extra 12 hours. But yeah, after 11 days, I was good. I could eat regular stuff again. But you can't buck the system. You cannot buck this system. You know what I'm saying? You can't buck the system. It's half the days in the days that you fasted. It's half the days in the days that you fasted. So if you do a 3-day fast, you gotta refeed a day and a half. You know what I'm saying? You know, 2 or 1 day, after 1 day, you could basically eat the same thing. You might have a little bit discomfort, but I doubt it. 2 days even. After 2 days, just treat yourself pretty good. Don't go too hardcore. But 3 days, that's when you probably have to start refeeding for sure. After 5, I would say officially. 5 days officially, you definitely do. But 1 day, 3 days you do too, because I've had complications. Minor to me, you know, just the runs, vomiting, those type of things. You can feel that your body can't break down the food. But I would say that you gotta drink plenty of water throughout the fast. You know what I'm saying? And I think that kind of works in a way where it kind of helps you get through smoother after a 3-day fast. You know, you can come off smoother where, you know, you won't really have any complications. But how I feel in my younger years of fasting, I don't remember I remember eating anything I wanted to eat off of a 3-day fast. So I don't know if it's because I'm getting older, but the bottom line is after 5 days, you definitely got to do it. A week, definitely. A week is 3. It's half the time. So you fast whatever time you fast. Half the time of that time is how long you directly after. That's how long you refeed. And you can go and Google and get a refeeding list and see all the different type of stuff you eat. But basically, that's going to stop you from getting refeeding syndrome. Refeeding syndrome is when you could die, or you're going to have vomiting, diarrhea, things like that. So to prevent that, you can't have too much sugar after any long-term fast. This is the three things that will get you: too much sugar, or too much salt, or the texture of the food. Oh, four, or the amount, the portion that you eat. Those are the four things that you can't violate. If you violate any of those things, you could die. I always think about that dude from KFC, man. I mean, that dude that ate, the dude that ate KFC after the fast. The KFC dude, ate KFC after a fast. You know what I'm saying? So you could say it's using common sense, man. But I like I said, I've never seen preachers talk about it. I've never seen preachers at all talk about the refeeding process and break it down like a doctor. A doctor would tell you, you have to do this. It's not an option. You can't just, well, I'm going to just eat what I want to eat here and there. I'm going to just feel my way. Nope. You can't even do that. You can't feel your way. I don't see how people been doing it. You know what I think? Honestly, I think people just been getting toe up. That's why they won't do it. This is what I think. This is the only thing that makes sense to me. The church was ignorant of the refeeding process in America, right? But they went and did a fast, probably maybe 5 to 7 days. But they seen what happened to their stomach. They might even went to the ER and just decided to do 3 days and 5 days and 7 days and never really do 10 days and 15 days and 2 weeks and 3 weeks. See, I done went all the way up there to doing 3 weeks. I say humbly, 3 weeks. And that's a very cautious place. It's like climbing a mountain. Once you up there, if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to die. You know what I'm saying? You got to know what you're doing, man. That's when you get into the dangerous heights of that. The main thing I was thinking about was, man, how I'm going to come off this fast. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't know what you're doing and you come off that fast the wrong way, it's going to be over. So you got to know what you're doing. And I'm just surprised that no preacher has really talked about the refeeding process over the years. I've never heard it. I can give you that includes everybody that come on TV, anybody that's writing these books. I ain't never heard them talk about it. They'll talk about fasting. Oh, all of them will. But they will never talk about the refeeding process. And to me, as a teacher, myself, a teacher is not going to put you in harm's way. You know what I'm saying? Where you don't even know what's going to happen to you going into these fastings, or then just on the subject of it, they ain't going to leave you hanging to where it might be possible you might just do your own and die. So they're going to just give you this information to let you know, okay, hey, if you do fast, you got to understand the refeeding process and refeeding syndrome, right? Refeeding, right? So when you Google it, you'll see all type of things. And if you use AI, the best thing AI is good for is the Google search. It advanced the Google search. When you do refeeding, even me, man, I hit that AI Google search and I can find out just different stuff I can eat while I'm going through my refeeding process. Like right now, I'm like, okay, I'm almost, tonight I'll be halfway through. I got 5 days because I did a 10-day fast. And so my stomach's still funny. Like right now, but I gotta, this is part of it. And to get those real powerful results, this is how you need to hear it. It's a whole full process. Because I was ignorant myself. I didn't know nothing about no refeeding process. All my young years as a Christian, I didn't know nothing about No, refeeding process. I never heard that term a day in my life. I never knew the procedure a day in my life. And I bought a book on fasting from a Christian perspective. Now, if it would have been in the world, they would have told you all about the refeeding process. Christianity, you get a Christian book, nothing. And I know they went through it. What I think it was just hit and miss, man. God probably just guided his people in their ignorance. That's basically what happened, man. That's the only thing I can imagine. God just guided people in their ignorance, man. Because I can't explain to you how none of these people didn't talk about the refeeding process in the American Christian church. But they'll get up there on the TV and talk about fasting is your breakthrough, and it is. And the devil will do this. The devil will try to attack you during and the fasting. And I'm not mocking them. Don't get me wrong. But it's so serious. It makes me. I had to do this video to just put it out there. Like, how in the world over all these years people have been doing these messages on fasting, but not the dangers of refeeding syndrome, which could kill you, because you could walk away from their message. I can't stress this enough. And you do your own thing. You just decide, especially young Christian like I was, you hear this preacher talking about fasting on TV. You decide, yeah, I'm gonna do me a 2 week fast. I'm gonna fast for 2 weeks. And something happened to you when you come off the fast because you ain't know what you was doing, or you ain't have the food. It's expensive. It's not expensive. You just gotta buy the right stuff. You gotta buy. You might not have it all together where you have enough food for the whole refeeding process. So you gotta. It's not the main thing is like broths. So for me, I used, after my 21 day of refeeding, I during that first day, I had nothing but liquids. Okay, I used I got turkey broth from the turkey bacon. I had a pan. I used beans. I got the Goya beans. I had a whole big old can. I put 2 cans of Goya beans, I think, yeah. And the juice from that, and the turkey bacon, and I put a lot of water on it. Enough water in addition to the 2 cans of Goya, pinto beans, and 7 strips of turkey bacon in an average size pan. I put enough water considering a portion for a meal, right? Which I would say roughly that's gonna be about 3 cups, 3 average cups, 3.5, maybe 4. Yeah, about 4, actually, 4 or 5. Because you want all that broth. And what I kept doing was I kept the same beans. This is just God guiding me, because I didn't really know when I was the other little things. So I used, once I got the broth off of that first batch, I kept getting broth batches, eating every 3 hours. But I was keeping the same beans and I was getting them sulfur and sulfur and sulfur. But the whole first day, that's all I was eating was the broth off. I wasn't using the same 7 strips of turkey bacon. I would throw them away. I'm that type, because once the juice come out, that's it. It's just rubber, basically. That's nothing. It don't even have no taste. You're not gonna get anything out of it. Plus, you can't eat that, obviously, when you first come off a fast. I put 7 strips of turkey bacon each batch. Every 3 hours, that's how I ate. You eat every 3 hours after during the refeeding process. You wait 3 hours for your food to digest. So I was making new batches of turkey broth every 3 hours. Okay, that's what I did for the first day. By the second day, remind you, I'm heating it up. I'm heating up the turkey broth. But I'm cooking the same 2 cans of Goya. I'm leaving that pan right there and just pouring on new water and putting new 7 strips of bacon on it. And I'm just getting the water off, but I'm constantly cooking those same beans, right? By the time I ate, which was the next day, this is a 21-day fast, 3-week fast. But the next day, those beans were so cooked like a crock pot. That's actually what I ate. I was like, man, I didn't even really try to do that though. I don't know. I guess I was just, my intention was to try to get as much juice off the beans. So every time I was just trying to get much juice off the beans every time, more than one time. But in all actuality, while doing that, I was cooking them down so soft for my first actual meal. So that's what I did. And I didn't put a whole bunch, like a cup full of pinto beans in my first meal. I just put the surface, like the beans, just enough to cover a surface. Start with that. And just keep working those turkey broths. And then you can incorporate, the second day, you can incorporate Ensures. Specifically, I ain't gonna tell you to get any type of some off-brand. Get the best one because others have milk in it and different additives. You have to be very careful that you're not getting a milkshake type of protein shake type. Not a protein shake. You need an Ensure, a vitamin shake. So I incorporated that the second day, and I just kept eating beans after my second day. After my second day, I just kept eating beans for up to 11 days. You know what I'm saying? And but you'll be amazed at how grateful your body is for beans. You ain't gonna have no problem with it, and by the time you get tired of it, you're gonna be halfway through it anyway. So that gives you an idea and an example which you can apply to different types of beans and different things. But basically, you're trying to get fluids and you're trying to have soft foods. The science behind it is you need soft foods. You can't have hard bread. Your body can't break it down. You need stuff that can go through your body normal. But some people think that you got to break your body in. No, you can't break it in. You're not going to break it in. You're going to cause yourself severe consequences. You can't break yourself in. So how it works, although you haven't went from slowly to surely eating any kind of foods, even by the time you get to the end of that refeeding process, your body's going to be ready. And I can't explain the science of that, but that's just what it is, which means you didn't have to break it in and break yourself in, even though because you ain't had no heavy food, but your body's ready. So that's just how it is. And trust me, it does work every single time in an egg timer type of fashion. But it's what you got to do. When you know you're on the right track, the first 3 days you're always cautious during your refeeding process. You check to see if you have diarrhea, most importantly vomiting, sweating, nausea. But once you have a pretty decent stool where it's not diarrhea, you're on the right track. You're doing what you need to do. Your body is breaking down the food and producing a hard stool. Okay, long as you're producing hard stools, you're on the right track. Just don't think because you're doing that you can cheat. You can't cheat, and you'll try because that's human nature. But I can't do that. Like I put a little like I'm from the South, we drink sugar water, right? So sugar water is basically ghetto water where we put sugar in it just for flavor. Now you would think, ew, until you have it, where it's like you put a whole bunch though, you gotta put a whole bunch of sugar in it. And it's like Kool-Aid, so I grew up drinking sugar water because I'm from the South. So I thought I'd have a little sugar water, and it was good at first, but then I started feeling a little funny a little bit, like, I can't have it. You'll feel like you'll swerve in your lane a little bit, and I can't do that. But yeah, that's the basic do's and don'ts. You know what I'm saying? You cannot have a whole bunch of excess sugar, and that is dictated throughout the whole refeeding time, which means day 3 you can't have a whole bunch of sugar. See how tricky it get? Even though you're still refeeding, you're doing good, you're producing hard stools, everything like that. But and you might feel comfortable that, I could put a little more sugar. Nope. Until that refeeding process is done, these rules apply. The 4 rules: no, not excessive sugar, excessive salt, no big portions, and no hard textures going into your system. Hard texture is like bread. That's a perfect example. You can't put a biscuit in your body after you just came off a fast, because your body can't break it down. Okay? Now, after your free feeding, you're back to it. And I can't explain the science behind that, like where you don't need kind of like a slowly but surely kind of process, but hey, I don't bug systems. I don't bug God systems. How about that? Okay, so basically that's just how it is. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna be essential. That's why some people don't go to the next level, because I think they experienced, I think it's this ongoing secretive bad experiences that people have had with extended fasting that they're not talking about. But it's because of their ignorance on the subject. You have to have the refeeding process half the time in the days that you fasted. Now, once you do that, you're gonna be good. You're gonna be good. You're gonna produce hard stools. That's the main thing you're trying to get to. And sometimes it might take a couple days to have a stool. I wouldn't be worried unless it took 5 days for you to have a stool. It could even take up to 3 days. But mind you, you getting in plenty of water. Water is gonna push that food on through your system. See, so on the expert levels of fasting, I don't do anything ignorantly. I educate myself with Google. For people there's 2 types of people. Okay, there's nerds, no disrespect to nerds, and there's smart people. Nerds apply themselves to one topic. They're a nerd of this or a nerd of that. A smart person is not necessarily applying themselves to one topic. I'm just a smart person, an intellectual person. I just Google stuff and just find out information. I like just knowing stuff. I like being aware. You know what I'm saying? I just like I'm just an inquisitive person. Some people are not inquisitive enough as and I am. So I just always go through Google and just find out all kind of information. So just make sure that you don't get scared to fast. You don't think you're gonna die. Some people might think you'll die if you fast for a week. I'm here to tell you, I just came off a 10-day fast. That's what I'm talking about right now. That's where God wants my spirit right now. You know what I'm saying? That's another reason he got me doing this video, because I just came off a 10-day fast 2 days ago. And I really don't need to be running around. I really don't need to be doing nothing. I need to be chilling and getting some rest and everything like that. Because the thing about me, I done came off this fast and I feel decent, you know what I'm saying? But my body still need rest. I still require a lot of rest. I'm still coming off of 10 days of not eating. So you ain't gonna ever just jump back into how you usually feel eating day to day on a daily basis. So I mean, but I'm doing fairly decent. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing fairly decent. But like I said, oh, I take vitamins. My thing is vitamins. Like multivitamins, magnesium. These two together. Okay. I've been using this since I got off my 10-day fast. Now, if you have some kind of complications with vitamins in general, it's the obvious. It's just the obvious situation. You know the obvious situations for you. But if you have no problems, you gotta take multivitamins. I already do. This supply right here. Even though this isn't really, this isn't usually my main kind of vitamin, because I like vitamins with iron. I like vitamins that's from A to Z, literally, from A to zinc. So usually it's Centrum. So, but this time around, I got a pretty basic. This is a basic vitamin from CVS. I wouldn't get it again. I wouldn't dare get it again. It wouldn't happen. It's not going to happen again. See, for me, I'll spend that extra money on getting all vitamins. That means I'm gonna get iron, potassium. See, that's what you need, especially if you are a person that believes in wine. Having some wine. Now that's the common sense thing too. If you was an alcoholic, that's not gonna be for you. Okay, that's obvious. But wine is in the Bible, but if you have wine, the next thing you're gonna need after wine is potassium. So that's why I always like a vitamin. Even though now I'm not even drinking wine. It's been 6 months, since I've had any alcohol. So I'm doing great. I'm not drinking. But those who do, and that are Christians, you need potassium. Potassium, which you could get from bananas. That's the main thing everybody knows. But when you get a multivitamin, you want to get potassium and iron, because you could be deficient in iron. You could be deficient in potassium. Okay, so you want to make sure you get a vitamin with all the vitamins. Just pay that extra money. I paid $30 anyway. I don't care, because you need it. You need your vitamins, especially if you're a person that fasts. You're stripping your body of everything. Okay, even though it's healthy, because your body gets to work on itself. When you're fasting, your body gets to do other stuff, which is work on your skin. Any scars you got, it's gonna heal better, everything like that. But after the fast, you're gonna need to get all those good vitamins, and you're not gonna get it from just one meal. Usually, you're not gonna get everything. So I'll be cautious about potassium and iron, But I got the Ensures, so that's what I recommend. If you got a vitamin like this, like I wouldn't even got this. You know what I'm saying? I just assumed, but that's me I'm used to having Centrum. Centrum has everything in it, man. It has everything in it, man. That's why it still can't be beat on the market, because it just has everything in it. But magnesium is going to be next. This is the super vitamin that Dr. Oz talked about. Dr. Oz talked about the super vitamin magnesium. Magnesium is considered the super vitamin. Okay? It helps anything you can think about. Brain problems, heart problems, even some people have even been clinically depressed because they were deficient in magnesium. So if you don't have magnesium, which we get it naturally from meats, that's what we get it naturally from. You could go get diagnosed for being depressed, and the truth is you're deficient in magnesium. So it's very important to get magnesium. It's not even an option. See, it's people that think they can live without vitamins. God didn't make it that way. Because God knew He gave us all these vitamins and fruit and different things, and He knew we would get those things, the vitamins from the things He put here. But if you're not out there harvesting what God made, you're not living the way God wants you to live. You're sitting in a room. You're not harvesting the vitamins from the fruit. You see what I'm saying? So with that being said, it's just, okay, understand, God wants you to operate. He considered that you would go get the food, but you're not doing it. And then it's so expensive now. You can't afford to really get all the vitamins you need out of every meal. You can't get it out of these meals you're getting, especially super processed food. So that's why you have a multivitamin every day. This is why I go get it. I don't care if out of everything I get, I don't spend a lot on myself, but I go get my vitamin. And this is still a pretty decent vitamin. I mean, it'll get me through. It got vitamin B12, but it don't even have magnesium. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but I got magnesium, of course, but it got I don't know, man. It got a basic. It's basic. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely basic as it comes. Cause it don't even got iron in it. This doesn't even have iron. Those things are important. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're deficient, you could be in trouble just from deficiency of iron. But you're popping this vitamin that doesn't even have it. So that's the things I look for. That's why I was laying here. I said, let me look at all this in here. So I love to do that anyway. So when I looked, I was like, I ain't seen no iron. I ain't seen no potassium. I'm like, I don't like that. You know what I'm saying? But, that's why I keep Centrum. I recommend getting Centrum as a multivitamin. But if you got it, like, this is a big supply. This is like 200. So this is going to last me like for half a year. But I might just still break down and get a Centrum. I might about halfway or later on through, because I just gotta have all my vitamins every day. I like having all my vitamins, but the thing is, as long as I get magnesium, I'm definitely good. Like I done just lived off of having this by itself without the whole multivitamin. So as long as I have this, I'm pretty much straight. Cause there's certain vitamins that's for mood, like, and things like that, and it's a lot of people that don't really know. Like Dr. CB started talking about all that kind of stuff. Dr. CB started talking about it, just health. And people say health is wealth. Health is wealth. I would piggyback off of that, no pun intended, and would say vitamins is wealth. You know what I'm saying? Not even food, vitamins, because you can eat all the food you want, but every meal ain't gonna give you all the vitamins you need. So this is a very complimenting part of a message on fasting, because you need vitamins, you need magnesium. Magnesium, like I said, stops depression. Some people are depressed because you don't have magnesium. That's why I ain't never depressed. I ain't never depressed. I go through something, I pop me a magnesium. Now I recommend every 3 hours with popping magnesiums. You know what I'm saying? And if you have any, you got to learn to feel your body as a grown person. Feel your body, feel your organs and your core, and feel yourself out. And if nothing's going wrong when you do things, then proceed. You're okay to proceed. An adult dosage for magnesium is 1,000 milligrams. So as you can see, you're already getting 500 milligrams with just one magnesium. So it sounds like a big number, but one pill is going to be 500 milligrams. So 2 is just the adult dosage. So you're already at half with taking one. So doesn't that make you more a believer? But that 1,000, because 1,000 would sound like a big number as far as milligrams, and people, oh, 1,000 milligrams, like, but you're already getting 500, right? You can see it right there. So you gotta, 1,000 milligrams is what works. 250, you'll get those that's the minimum they'll give you in the bottle, is 250 milligrams a pill. But you're lucky when you get 500, you know what I'm saying? Because you get more of an effect. I get people to trust the effect. It's safe, but then you'll find another bottle that'll give you 250, you know what I'm saying? So, with that being said, just take a chance. Use discretion, like I said. But I would recommend working up to, how about this? Work up to 1,000 milligrams. Let's just say you take 250 a day, 250 milligrams a day for 30 days, just to see how it make you feel, everything, and then graduate so you can see. I don't see how you're gonna be overwhelmed by vitamins, but let's just do that. Start out with 250 or 500, like they have it in the bottle, and just do that. Work that. I would say that 500. Work that for a month, and then get up to a milligram. I pop 2, and there's no complications. There's nothing wrong. I feel great. It helps you process your food. If you feel bad and you bloated, it helps everything. See, magnesium, you get it from meat. You would have to eat steaks, and you would have to eat let's just say it was steaks. You would have to eat so many steaks to get enough magnesium a day. You would have to eat so many steaks. I forgot how many, but it was a lot of steaks. You can't do it. So basically, no matter how much meat you like to eat, you can't get 1,000 milligrams of magnesium a day. You're not getting that. You're not getting it. And so you don't really know what it is to live at your best. Well, your brain is for the brain. Your mind is going to be so clear and on a whole nother level of thinking if you understand magnesium. Magnesium is the super vitamin. This is why I get this. No matter if I have if I ain't have enough money, I'm getting magnesium. And people don't, and I go under the radar. People don't really even know what I'm doing. See, I already understood. I already understand these vitamins and health and all of that. People ain't got to talk to me about it. I already know. You know what I'm saying? You can inform me to get even better at what I know. But I'm already on the path of where my foundational health, which is you get these vitamins, these daily vitamins every day. Dr. Oz talked about daily the super vitamin. This is the super vitamin. This stops heart problems, heart attacks, anything like that. If you felt any uncomfort, you would pop one of these and you would be better. That's just how good it is. If you had any chest problems or feel like you was going, these woozy feelings. If you had any of those feelings and you pop like one of these every 3 hours, I've done that before. When I feel like I was woozy, like, I didn't know if I was gonna have to go to the hospital, I pop these magnesium, I feel better. That's how good it is. That's been my secret over the years. I've been doing it over 10 years. While everybody else been suffering, and when they drink and they having hangovers and everything, next day I wake up, I pop me a magnesium. Hey, what's next? Everybody else hungover. I ain't never get really hungover once I start taking magnesium, because it's gonna flush the alcohol out your system. That's the first thing it's gonna do the next morning. So it's gonna run out. It's gonna run. You're gonna get the runs, but it's nothing wrong with that. It's the alcohol is being flushed out your body. So that's why, even though people see me drinking, I was taking magnesium. I was taking multivitamins. They didn't know any better. You know what I'm saying? They didn't know the whole time I was doing that. That's why I could walk around like I did and everything like that, because the whole time I was taking multivitamins. And then I was taking magnesium. And if I felt bad, if I was having a bad trip on alcohol or whatever, I just pop me a magnesium right back up. That's what gets you up. And I'm not telling anybody to do drugs. I'm not telling anybody to get excessively drunk. But if you ever feel in trouble, magnesium, and people who do things excessively eventually feel in trouble at times doing those things. And so people know exactly what I'm talking about. If you ever felt in trouble, like you didn't know if you was gonna have to go to the hospital from doing drugs or drinking too much or whatever you was doing, what somebody on the streets didn't tell you, I don't know how it didn't happen over the years, but magnesium is what's gonna get you back up. As soon as you feel funny, as soon as you have laborious breathing and you feel like you can't breathe straight, magnesium. You pop one of them, boom. I take 1,000 right there. I take 1,000, I'm back good. Anytime people in trouble doing too many drugs or drinking or whatever, or even whatever it is, vitamins. That's what's gonna get you back right. You take a multivitamin and a magnesium, but magnesium is what's really gonna do it. The multivitamin it's gonna enrich you through that situation, but it ain't gonna, boom. Magnesium gonna do that. Magnesium is gonna do it. You take that and it's gonna flush it. It's gonna flush alcohol out your system. It's gonna flush whatever it is out. That's why I don't struggle. Like, I ain't never been depressed a day in my life. Because once I came to a certain age, I just started taking magnesium. In my late 20s, I started taking it. Yeah, I started when I was 29. Yo, I started when I was 29 taking magnesium. Ever since, going into my 30s, anytime I felt funny, I was in trouble, I started taking magnesium. See, like we like, it's some people, I mean, and then you'll have people that work divination and all this stuff, and of course I'm a Christian, I don't believe in none of that, but they'll say they're a medicine man or a medicine woman, but they can't even tell you what to do in the modern day time and things that people do and getting high and drinking and everything. And then what you gonna lead them to? What kind of remedies you gonna give them? Like, the best remedy, period. If you're on anything excessively, any chemicals in your body, excessively, alcohol, and you feel like you don't know what's gonna happen, magnesium. So, I'm not advising anyone to do drugs or to drink excessively, but if you live any kind of lifestyle like that, you should be having magnesium. You should have magnesium because that's what's gonna pull you back up. I done been through it. I done been drinking and then I feel kind of funny. Even smoking weed and I felt kind of funny. Back in the past, I go pop me a magnesium, boom, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so I can't imagine for people that do other stuff, how you be feeling on that stuff, on different things and different products. Magnesium is the only thing gonna help, because it stops heart attacks, it stops everything, it stops all that kind of stuff. I'm telling you. This is from somebody that used to drink very frequently. I know my body, I know about drinking excessively, hard liquor, things like that. And if you don't have magnesium every day, see, once I use the drink, the next day I get up, I take a multivitamin and I take the magnesium, right? And I'm back up. And I'm back ready to have another good time. You know, that's how it was for me. You know, but if you think about it, it just makes common sense. If you're excessively drinking and everything like that, okay, then the next day you're gonna get up, but not up. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I would get up and eat a meal, some juice, I can sup some juice, you know what I'm saying? Some meat, things like that. You know what I'm talking about. A night of drinking, next day you're gonna eat like a horse. Get up, get you some greens, put some beans on. That's how I do. I be putting on everything. I be eating everything. Then, you get all that good juice, all that nutrients, take your vitamin, you ready to party the next day. That's most people. You know what I'm saying? So that's basically how it is. You know what I'm saying? That's basically how it is, man. Like people don't tell you how to remedy. You know what I'm saying? With the things that are remedies. You know what I'm saying? The main remedies in our modern day culture, because food is so expensive, you gotta have a multivitamin and you gotta have magnesium. Those two things you gotta have. If you don't have that, you run around, I don't see how you do it. All the food people eat, everything with no vitamins, no nutrients. You gotta have nutrients. And if you don't have it, you don't have it. You can't fake it. A grown man, and a grown man all day, you can't fake it. You don't got it, you don't got it. You don't got certain things in your system, you don't got it. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? You could be strong, you could be all that, whatever, but you don't have vitamins. You know what I'm saying? That's why even when I get up, I got stuff to do, unexpected stuff. I go through it a little better than the average person. Like today I had to go and take a trek, an unexpected trek, but I weathered it pretty good, exceptionally well, physically speaking. It's snow out here in the streets in New York, but I had to go to another store. It was an unexpected trek, and I was able to do it exceptionally with no problem. You know what I'm saying? That's how you want your body to perform. Emotionally, too. If you got something you got to go through, like, you know what I'm saying? You might have to argue. You might get in an argument or whatever, and you got that magnesium. I'm telling you, you're gonna bounce back into a stable mood. Some of you are not bipolar. That people start rumors on you because you're smart, you're a genius. It could be that. Like for me, I'm just a smart person, and I'm going through spiritual warfare. So the things that comes across my mind is spiritual warfare. So if you try to read that, you're gonna make a mistake. You're trying to invade the mind of a prophet, and all you're gonna see is spiritual warfare. And so you're gonna pick up on that and think that I'm tripping, but you don't realize how much I gotta go through. You know what I'm saying? To be on these levels intellectually. So you become a jerk in the process. You know what I'm saying? Judging a prophet's mentality, calling that person off or mental or whatever. This person has warfare going past their head at all times. You know what I'm saying? You have no earthly idea, no pun intended. You don't have no earthly idea what I go through intellectually. This is besides gang stalkers. This is demonic spirits. This is the whole satanic kingdom. You know what I'm saying? And with that being said, magnesium takes you through spiritual warfare way better. I go through spiritual warfare way better. You just went through something? Pop a magnesium, boom, lay down. Because you can take it every 3 hours, trust my judgment. It's not going to be excessive in your system. After all, it's not chemicals, it's a vitamin. Okay? You say, I don't trust nothing man makes, but you eating everything that man makes. You eating everything that man makes. You're not eating from a farm. So you're eating processed sugar, processed food, and you saying I don't trust nothing that man makes. But then you can't eat because all this stuff is tainted. It's nothing that's natural. Nothing. The food, the bread, ain't nothing natural. Even the seasonings that you use. So then you begin to be stating stuff that's so smart but it's stupid. Because if I'm gonna tell you something about a vitamin. Some people are coming just out the hospital, and if this was something in here that was off, they could sue the hospital for recommending a vitamin. Anything that messes the person up. This is why you trust stuff like a vitamin, because anything that is off about it, whoever recommended it is liable. If the doctor told you to take CVS vitamins and you go take it and then something happened to your system, who you gonna blame? You gonna blame not you gonna have 2 lawsuits. Well, no, hold up. Well, yeah. You're going to have two lawsuits. You're going to have a lawsuit with CVS's Men Daily Vitamin for whatever it was in it, if something was in it, and you have a lawsuit with the hospital for recommending something without knowing what it was. Listen, you supposed to know what you talk about. You don't recommend something to me, what's the difference? You supposed to know what you talk about. So my point is this, is that if something was in this, listen, buddy, listen, they wouldn't be able to give this to somebody that's coming home from the hospital. They gotta depend on the purity of this vitamin. It gotta be right. And it's too many people that take vitamins for it not to be right. And if something was wrong about it, they would die. It could not be anybody, and nothing couldn't be in it because there's too many people that depend on it, and it would have been already exposed that something else is in it. Because too many people depend on it coming straight from the hospital. Magnesium is another one. It's too many people that depend on it. They gotta have it. You know what I'm saying? And if something's wrong with it, the least thing, just like you might think, that would be, with all these people taking it, that would have already been a problem. That would have already been detected. Vitamins is a whole different ball game. We're not talking about pills. We're not talking about chemicals and things men prescribe for behavioral problems. Now you're talking about a whole different ball game of chemicals and things. We talking about stuff you need either way it goes. Whether you're getting it from food or you want to be cute and get it naturally, when you ain't gonna be able to get it and you ain't gonna have enough money to eat naturally or get all your vitamins naturally. No, you're not. You ain't gonna have enough money to do it. Okay, so you could try to be cute and try to act like you're gonna do it like that, but you ain't gonna do it because you ain't got enough money. The average person. That's who I'm talking to on the average person. You ain't got enough money to get all the vitamins in your food every day. So then how you gonna get it? If I could get it from every meal, of course I would do that. Cause it's natural. I'm getting it naturally, but you ain't gonna be able to afford that, and then you ain't gonna have the appetite and the discipline to eat them big portions of meal to get all your vitamins every day. You ain't gonna have the discipline to do that. No, you're not. So then with those two things being said, you need to invest in a vitamin. Okay? This is not chemicals. This is not chemicals. This is what you need to live. This is life. This is why I go out my way to get it. That's why I go out my way to get it. Dr. Oz talk about it. They don't promote vitamins. So you can't say nobody should promote it. That's why you don't see, you might see here and there these performance vitamins. You see performance vitamins. You know what I'm saying? These the vitamins for athletes and things, they'll do that a little bit, but it's a drop in the bucket, man, on how they really need to be promoting vitamins. They don't promote vitamins. They promote everything else. All this food, all this different stuff. You have to have it. You must have it every day. Okay? Vitamins is not when you just get sick. Vitamins is what you need every day. Your doctor would tell you, well, the reason why your body has this going on is because you were excessively deficient in vitamin A all your life. You didn't need your diet for whatever reason. You didn't have vitamin D or vitamin A or vitamin K, and this is why you're sick, because you were so deficient. Listen to what the doctor's saying. The doctor gonna tell you were so deficient in what you needed. You don't think they get those cases all the time? Of course. Because nobody lives off vitamins except the wise man. I don't wait till I get sick and start taking vitamins. I'm just disciplined. Because see, what's gonna get you hooked on vitamins is how the emotional strength that you feel to encounter every day. Many of you are depressed because you ain't got no vitamins. That's what it is. During spiritual warfare, you need vitamins. If I had a military physically, everybody be on vitamins. First thing first, get you a vitamin. Get everybody vitamins. Ain't nobody gonna be around here groggy and Everybody hyped up on vitamins, and they clearing mind, everything. I'm on vitamins. I don't never operate without being on vitamins. And that's even when I was smoking. Cause see, in our culture, why smoke and take vitamins? Why eat and smoke? No, excuse me, why smoke and take vitamins? Why smoke and eat? Why smoke and eat a good collard greens meal or any good meal you get vitamins from? Why do that and you smoke too? You're doing the same thing. People will tell you because of your lifestyle, whether it's you're smoking or drinking or whatever you're doing, then that is too much of a contrast to your life. That's exactly why you do it. Because while people was tripping off of how I used to smoke, I don't smoke anymore. But how people used to trip off of how I used to smoke, I was taking vitamins the whole time, low key. That part. So I was good. I don't know about the next man standing to me. But while I was out there smoking cigarettes like it was no tomorrow, and drinking like it was no tomorrow, out there on the block with fifths and pints, and I was taking vitamins through all of that. And see, that's how I weathered it. I weathered it way better than the next man, out there smoking and partying with no vitamins, no nutrients. Think about it. That's that the alcohol and that them cigarettes gonna come after the nutrients in your body. That's what it's gonna do. It's gonna come after that nutrients. And if you don't have nothing to withstand it or flush it out your system, it's just gonna take from you. It's gonna take from your body. That's why some people beat down. And people look at me and they say, why you look so young? You know what my secret is? Because I took vitamins all my life. My own stepfather said the reason why I'm so healthy because I stopped eating red meat before everybody else did. I was a vegan when I was 18. I was a vegan when I was 18 in North Carolina, but I didn't like it. I didn't like being a vegan. I tried it though. I tried it. I tried being a vegan and I was like, I don't like it. I didn't like it. But I tried it on my own. You know what I'm saying? I tried being a vegetarian, but I ain't like it. You know what I'm saying? So that's how far I go with my diet. I've always been key on watching things in my diet. And then I went from being a vegetarian temporarily, short-lived, but I went from there to taking vitamins and eventually in my 20s and everything. And then once I found vitamins, multivitamin D, when you get married to women like to take vitamins for their hair and their nails. Like prenatal vitamins. Like prenatal vitamins, it's no secret. They always, you get vitamins you get for while you're having a baby. They grow your nails out, your hair and everything. So for in women culture, the vitamin things is no secret. So a lot of women get vitamins for their hair, these days, young women and everything. So being married, you're going to be with a woman that want to take vitamins. So in my first marriage, I was taking vitamins and everything. So I just never stopped. I just never stopped taking vitamins. That's why I look so young. And people don't know, like, man, how come you don't look old? Because I took everything I was supposed to take in my young years. And now it pays off. This is how you're supposed to look if you are 44 years old and you took a whole bunch of vitamins and you took care of your body. That's all I did. That's the main thing. No matter if I was smoking and drinking through the years, I kept taking vitamins when people might not even wasn't paying attention. Everybody partying, doing it. I take time. I would still use wisdom and take a vitamin during the party when I was partying. You know what I'm saying? Like some people think you gonna think it's a contrast in your lifestyle, but that's like saying I ain't gonna eat. You still gotta take care of yourself, even though you smoke and you drink. You still gotta take it, and there's no other better way with all the chemicals that you get from smoking than to take a vitamin. That's gonna be the best way to take care of yourself. Okay, it's gonna flush all the chemicals out. It's gonna fight that, especially magnesium. Magnesium is gonna fight the chemicals from the smoking. That's why, like, people, listen, they thought I was gonna die from smoking. That's probably a lot of people thought I was. That's how much I used to smoke. That's how much I used to drink. They probably thought I was gonna die from either one of them, or a combination of both. And but I was taking vitamins low key the whole time. You know what I'm saying? And you know, so if ain't nobody telling you about that, man, listen. That's why everybody be looking old. You look at some people, why they look like they in their 20s, and they look, why they look like they 40 in their 20s? Because they putting all these chemicals and things, smoking and drinking, and they think that means they grew well. Don't get me wrong. People can be beautiful in how they grow into their manhood or womanhood, but a lot of times, man, people grow old not gracefully in some cases. So while I look young, people think, oh, because see, the thing about looking young, people think you autistic. Oh, it's true. Low key, people think you autistic because you look so young. It was like, no, but look, the reason why I look young is because I took care of myself. I took my vitamins. I bought so many of these, I couldn't even tell you. I mean, the same big bottle, I done went through them from the beginning to the end. I done took all of them every day. You got those guys out there. You know, they'll tell you, man, every day I did this. Every day of my life, I took vitamins. I took my stuff. I took the magnesium. I've been taking magnesium going on 20 years. 5 more years to be 20 years. Since I was 29 years old, 5 more years. 20 years, that's 15 years of taking magnesium. Magnesium now. Already taking multivitamins. That's doing drinking and everything. And I still, listen, it didn't mess up I'm not saying I'm condoning drinking or getting high, but it didn't mess up the high, you know, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? I just had everything I needed every day. And that's why I think that's another reason why I was like always a little more clear-minded and more animated more than everybody else, because I had everything I need, and what we was presently doing, whatever it was tearing people down. It was tearing their bodies down. My body, it wasn't getting torn down. You know, so yeah, like I just recommend, man, I'm telling you, multivitamin, Centrum. Centrum is the best. You know, you could get to go through all of them. They got the performance, the over 50. Over 50 just got more. That's basic, I guess. But it could be a little bit designed for older people, things they might necessarily need. But either way it go, man, just to be safe, get a basic original Centrum vitamin, multivitamin, and magnesium. With magnesium, it's no particular brand. Magnesium is magnesium. It's no particular brand, but with multivitamins, it might not have all the vitamins you need. So, and you could get deficient in iron and potassium. See, I took time to study this. You know, I studied life. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people didn't. They ain't take no time to do it, and their body shows the results. You know, I try my best to try to get everybody, my family, everybody, man. They'll tell you I take vitamins. All my family would tell you that, man. That's why I look young. That's why I'm healthy. That's why I survive. Like I said, vitamins helps even with your emotional state. Like for women, I would recommend a woman getting B12. Every woman needs B12, an extra dosage of B12, because God made you the caretaker. So you the one that really cares for the family. You care more than most men do. You know, a man are just, you know, women just gonna get that extra care, and in the process, you know, they get a little stressed out just for how they think, you know, worrying about things and worrying about the family and worrying about the world and things going on. And so for a woman to be in her tip-top shape based on how God made her to care, right, as a caretaker. He made her to care, because without a woman's care, where will we be today? Okay, so a woman's care is a strong energy, but it needs help. It needs strength. which is B12. For every woman, a woman needs B12. B12 is gonna be that vitamin, which means you get. Oh well, you don't say. Oh, I got it. I got B12 in this vitamin. This vitamin. No. You need most multivitamins. Central multivitamin has magnesium, but I still take magnesium and that vitamin. It's a vitamins. It's not good. You ain't gonna overdose on it. It's vitamins. Okay, so with B12, even if you got it in your vitamin in your multivitamin, like I got it in this one, it does have B12. B12 is gonna help your emotions. This is how life is, man. It's sad. It's science and math. You know, it's no way around this stuff. And if you got a woman and you ain't got her taking vitamins and magnesium, I get my women on vitamins and magnesium. All my women. The last couple women I've been with, I preach this so much they get inspired to do it too. Then they realize they feel way better. They start taking magnesium. I done made women believers in these vitamins. I'm telling you got to do it. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I'm that type of guy. I'm gonna talk to the women about it. You know, I'm gonna talk to my woman about it. If you're around here and you got a woman, and she ain't taking no vitamins and she's emotional, you shooting yourself in the foot, bro. You gotta make sure your woman has at least a multivitamin and B12 for her emotions. So, because a woman to just lay in the bed and melt into depression, you think everything's good. She's laying in the bed melting in depression for whatever reason, because that's how women are. They're thinking, their thought process is different from ours. You know what I'm saying? And they'll sit there and have anxieties about all kind of stuff. They'll be thinking about all kind of stuff. So, but that's how God made them, to be caretakers, to give that extra thought. That's why your mom would tell you stuff that you didn't even think about. Oh, did you get your jacket? Did you get this? Did you do that? You ain't paying attention. God made her to do that. That's not just being motherly. That's how God designed her. Because a man will just let you walk out the house. Oh, did he have a hat on? The mom asking the dad, did he have that hat on? Oh no, I don't think he did. I told him not to go out there in that snow without that hat. I told him not to go out there. He gonna get sick. And then you get sick. See, I told you. Women are built like that. They made like that. We not like that. You know what I'm saying? We'll leave the house without stuff. We'll leave the house. Your mama tell, oh, did you get this? Did you get that? Did you do it? That's a real design of how God made her. Most healthy women are like that. Did you do this? Did you do that? Did you do that? You're like, okay, chill out. No, it's not chill out. That's how God made her. Don't ever extinguish that fire. Don't ever try to change a woman. That's how she's supposed to be. She's supposed to be like that. But you got to know how to strengthen it and facilitate it. Get her a multivitamin and B12. B12 and magnesium, because that's going to stop the anxiety. That's going to stop the depression or any of that. You take the magnesium, the B12, your woman on B12. Hey, baby, I'm going to cook some ham. Oh, okay. She cooking and moving around and everything in a good mood. But it's just the culture we come from. It's like it's the hardest thing to get people to believe in. It's these vitamins. It's hard. But it's the only way. You know, like I said, you got a woman, she should be taking B12 or and magnesium. You know what I'm saying? Those and the multivitamin, obviously. That's what she gonna be in a way better mood. She gonna be a way better. I'm telling you, the conversation gonna be better. She gonna be more strengthened in her emotions. She gonna be the queen she need to be, and you gonna be the king you need to be. If you got magnesium as a man, you need magnesium, and that stops depression, everything like that. It gives you extra energy. So that's gonna be even good for sex, everything. Magnesium is good for everything. Give you energy for sex and everything, man. With that being said, all vitamins are good for sex. You taking your multivitamin, you're taking your magnesium, everything. Which now you can make love to your woman, still have energy. She's in a good mood because she's taking vitamins. Y'all all in vitamins. It's no other way. You know what I'm saying? Now imagine how other people are living. It's hit and miss. It's okay, I ate a good meal, I feel better. But you don't know why you feel better. But why you feel better is because of the vitamins. That's why. You're not just eating a piece of meat, you're eating vitamins. You ate that meat, now you feel better, right? Especially for those who drink. Okay, you ate something, you feel better, right? Why do you think you feel better? Because of the vitamins. That's why. It ain't because it was just a piece of meat. Listen, if you ate a piece of meat without vitamins, you'll feel the same. Oh, okay. How you feel? Oh, I'll get past it. You don't feel no better. You don't feel no better. You know what I'm saying? But if you eat meat with vitamins, obviously all of them have. When you eat meat, you're gonna get the vitamins. You're gonna feel better. So that's just how it is, man. That's how it is. You know what I'm saying? You gotta get all that in, and you gotta get you definitely multivitamin, central multivitamin for women, the same thing. Like I said, B12 for women, magnesium for men, men too. It's not just for women. You take some B12, extra B12, that's one I'm gonna get too. Cause it's gonna help your emotions, you're gonna feel better in your emotions and your feelings and everything like that. And and you're gonna be a better person, a more productive person. You're gonna be better to be around. You know what I'm saying? And if you're a man, and you married, man, your woman ain't taking vitamins. Wow. I'm telling you, man, it's gonna be way better, and she gonna be probably more likely to want to be intimate more frequently or every day. You know what I'm saying? She gonna be more willing to be more frequent in her intimacy levels in intimacy. So her libido is gonna be stronger. Her sex drive and libido, your libido and her sex drive is gonna be stronger from the vitamins because the juice is gonna be flowing. All that good stuff is gonna be going on too. Because the natural pills that people take before Viagra and all of that, you will find that they used to have little packs of different types of vitamins. Okay, and basically that's what it was. You was taking these vitamins, this combination of vitamins to produce the same effects as Viagra. So it gets the juices flowing. Trust me, all of that good stuff. When you got everything you need, you're gonna feel more sexual. You go towards your wife or your husband. So you just gotta understand all of this, man. That's why I be tripping on people. They say, I'm bipolar. Listen, buddy. No, listen. Now you see a man in his right mind. You see a man more charismatic than you. A man that thinks a little deeper than you because he has all he needs every day. And you're not used to that kind of energy. You're not used to somebody who function at their full capacity. That's all it is. That's the best of us. I'm talking about football players kind of know what I'm talking about. They kind of do. But they just they take what the athletes take, what they need, what they require. You might find many of them don't really take their full vitamins, but athletes definitely know and believe in vitamins. They do definitely believe in them. I know they do because they can tell the difference when they take vitamins and then when they don't. See, eventually you're gonna be able to tell. You're gonna tell the difference in your overall feeling, how I feel. Your overall sense of well-being. But magnesium gives you a stronger sense of well-being. You're gonna feel better as a whole entity. As you're gonna feel totally better. But I don't see how you can do it without vitamins. I don't see how you're doing it. It's hit and miss. It's hit and miss because you are eating, so you're still getting a little something. That's what it is. So you're actually still getting a little something. But if you took it to the next level, you was taking your vitamin, your magnesium, and everything, man, you would be all the man you need to be. Your woman will be the same way. So when people see me and I'm extra charismatic or animated and everything, that's because I'm always on I function at my full capacity. And other people don't. And that also includes in my intellect, I function in my full capacity. But I also deal with spiritual warfare that I gotta deal with that you wouldn't even be able to stand a day in my shoes. That's why I don't let people judge me. Okay, I'm bipolar. Okay, step in these shoes. Well, I'm attacked directly from the satanic kingdom. Because I make it look easy. Because I'm still all together. You know what I'm saying? While other people break down, crying, all kind of... Then you give them compassion. I'm not falling like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't get the necessary salute and respect that I deserve. You know what I'm saying? Because to stand in my shoes through all I've been through, it takes a special kind of jerk to judge that person's mind. You know what I'm saying? You see all this stuff this person been through. You heard all the stuff he been through, the fame and everything, and all the stuff with the community and everything. And it take a special type of jerk to even judge that person's intellect. You know what I'm saying? Who would do that? Okay, I'm gonna get a guy a break. I mean, look what all he been through. That's like judging Malcolm X, his mentality, his mental. Would you dare call him bipolar? Or would you dare call MLK bipolar? The first thing you gonna think, oh, all he going through, he might show signs of being bipolar. You know what I'm saying? But that's probably something else. That's probably all that stuff he going through. That's what you gonna say right there. You ain't gonna sit up and say that man bipolar and you see all the stuff he going through. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying, bro. Like, and I think I hold myself together quite well, exceptionally well. But that's just people nitpicking, man. Like we say in the South, nitpicking, like picking at something like a cloth and just picking stuff off and just micromanaging or micro judgment, right? And it's just like, I know myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm my faculties are stronger than the average man. That's why, because I take all my vitamins, I take my magnesium and everything like that. So, but when people see you function as outside the norm, you know what I'm saying? You got all your juices. You're a little more lively than everybody else. And that person kind of bipolar or something. Can you look how lively he act and all of that? Because I'm functioning at my full capacity. And you never even did it. You didn't even know you could do it. Okay, so that's really what it is. That's why I see ignorance is bliss. Now that you know, this person takes his vitamins. You know what I'm saying? Okay, yeah. But that don't mean nothing to you because you've been taking vitamin C. That's it. When you get sick, you don't even know what it feels like to consistently take a vitamin. Because if you haven't done this for over a week or 2 weeks, your body could be so depleted that you don't even really, your body is just getting what it needs. It's in the negative. Then you get to zero and get into the positive. But some of y'all don't never get to zero and then to the positive because you in the negative. So your body is almost depleted of all these things. So when you take a vitamin, you're not gonna up the par. No, you have to constantly give yourself that vitamin for at least a week. And then you're gonna start showing the performance sign of having all the vitamins. You ain't gonna get that just taking it one time. That's common sense. Because your levels are so low, you know what I mean? You gotta get them up and you gotta get yourself up, your body up. You know what I'm saying? It take about a week or two for you to start showing the signs of the vitamins. You ain't gonna take it for 2 days and you get and show the proper signs of performance and who you supposed to be. So some people never even knew themselves as a person in their full capacity. You don't know who you are in your full capacity because you never operated in your full capacity because you never took a vitamin day by day, every month, every year. You ain't gonna never see me go no full year without vitamins. A full year? Nah, it's not gonna happen. I've went months for sure. But here's the tricky thing. I don't know how to describe it. Once your body goes to a certain level, and you're used to operating on that certain level, it's going to fight to stay on those levels even though you don't have the vitamins. That means the way you think, your intellect, your vibration, because it's going to affect your vibration. If you have all the vitamins you need, your vibration is going to be different because it's going to affect your emotions, it's going to affect your spirit, it's going to affect you as a person. So your vibration is even going to be different. Your vibration is not what it needs to be because you don't operate at your full vibrational level because you don't have what you fully need. That's why I trip off people. That's why people compare themselves to me. I'm saying, okay, I look at them because I know you're not operating in your full vibrational level. You can't be if you're not taking vitamins. You can't. Once you take, now you're taking the vitamins, and then there's levels to that. There's levels to that. Am I getting every single thing out of these 2 bottles? Nope. It's more. There's more to it. But I'm doing pretty decent with the magnesium, and the multivitamin. I mean, it's all right. But see, once your mind, your vibration obviously gets to a certain level, like mine, I'm going to just fight to stay in that lane because it's spiritual, and then somehow it works to where I'm just going to fight and operate on that even if I don't have those vitamins. You follow me? And see, that's how it works. Once you create your vibrational level with the vitamins, getting everything you need, then when you without them, you're going to still be there. You're still going to be there. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, it's the truth. Because your thought patterns is going to be so used to being there, how you think on vitamins and how you perform in every way, you're going to fight to be there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But then once you get them, you just back in the groove. Like getting a good meal in your body. You know what I'm saying? But if you don't take these vitamins, I don't care what language you're talking about in spirituality, you are not operating in your full vibrational level. No, you're not, because you couldn't possibly be, because you're not getting everything your body's supposed. Your body is your temple, they say, right? Okay, so then you need to give your body the full treatment. The full treatment is all the vitamins. It's nothing else that's going to do it. You can do all this other stuff, all this stuff people do out here. Eating this, eating that to feel a certain way, whatever. Even using drugs to elevate. During the ancient times, people used drugs to experience a state of Zen or Nirvana. If you take a vitamin, you're going to come up in your vibration. Now it makes sense, right, to you. Many people, even when they drink, you're trying to perform, you're trying to get to a certain level. People say certain level, but what your soul is trying to do is get free, but you don't know how to do it. You know what I'm saying? Many of you do drugs to get free, or a state of nirvana or Zen, right? You're trying to elevate to these levels, but you don't know how to do it. When you take your vitamins, what that's doing is pushing you up, not necessarily to an optimum state of nirvana or Zen, but it's going to elevate your vibration to a full capacity level, which is better. Because you can come down from nirvana and then what? Back to whatever else you was doing. While when taking the vitamins, now you can have genius moments, what I call genius moments, where you get these ideas to make money. Because I take so many vitamins, I'm going to get ideas to make money. Because I'm working with a full deck. I'm working at my full capacity intellectually. See, now you're talking to those who are entrepreneurs, who are geniuses, people that create, inventors. I'm an inventor. I invent things, right? So when you're an inventor, you definitely need to be operating in your full capacity, which means you need all the vitamins that you need every day so that you can get those brainstorms to have these genius moments these epiphanies to where you create something that changes the community. Right? You shouldn't be walking around just eating fast food all your life, and you're a genius. You could have been thought about something, but your vibration is too low. So what these vitamins do is pull up your vibration. Now we're getting to the crust of the matter. It pulls up your vibration to now you're operating as your full vibration in its full capacity, and then you have the potential to go to these, what you might call these states of nirvana or zen, but you're going to do it more easily, and it is going to be a lifestyle as opposed to someone you might not even know you're in a state of nirvana because you are flying so high on an everyday basis because of your walk with God and taking your vitamins. You don't, what people call nirvana or a state of zen, you don't know if you're coming or going concerning that because you're always experiencing it. Where you see yourself and self-reflection, God does that to us all the time. Where we see ourselves and we break down and cry or something, God does that with us all the time. So this is something Christians should talk about, is how when we experience God's presence, we experience these states of nirvana and zen, but people don't believe it, because they can't talk about it intelligently and they don't do the right things. I talk about spiritual recipes. Spiritual recipes are when you use certain recipes to create spiritual results and manifestations. You have to use certain recipes, right? And that's how it works. And then you'll produce certain spiritual manifestations. Ultimately, nirvana is not a state of progression necessarily. What is most important besides going up to nirvana, what's most important is elevating and progressing forward. Not just going up to this epiphany moment and coming back down. And then what next? So your highest understanding is, I want to elevate and then go forward like a giant, like you get big and then go forward. That's the best analogy to give you. You're not just trying to go up to this moment and then come back down. And a lot of people did that in ancient times. They took, in tribes, different tribes, they would take drugs and hallucinogens, right? And to get answers for war and answers for their village and tribe. And indigenous people would take these different types of drugs and they would get a moment where they go up. And they got a progression, but they didn't stay up as far as the mind frame, the frame of mind, the state of mind didn't stay up there. They went up there and got something and then came back down. You got even many Christians, you'll go to a church and have a great experience, but then you go back to your life and you came back down. You go up and you grab experiences instead of going up and progressing. I go up and progress. I elevate constantly and progress forward. So I don't go up and down. I go up and in front of me instead of up and back down and I went nowhere. Makes sense. So ultimately, you will find that this idea of a state of nirvana can actually be kind of overrated, because ultimately it's all about going up and over instead of just up and then I got something, then I'm coming back down. Then you see what I'm saying? The details, pay attention to the details. I went up, I got something, but then what else after that? What other spiritual things are happening in my life? That part. How is my life overall affected concerning my spirituality? Am I just going up and grabbing these moments and coming back down and bragging about it? Or am I going up and over and just staying up in this elevated moment? And then this becomes a lifestyle where my vibration is the vibration of a giant, because I'm operating in my full capacity at all times. And it's no way you can do it. I'm telling you, you think you can, but it's no way you can do this. You can't buck the system, because this is science. If you don't have certain things in your body, you will die. And you will die early. If you do have certain things in your body, you could live for a very long time. So put two and two together. Put two and two together. You begin to operate on a higher level of spirituality. As a Christian, now you've received Christ. Now you're taking your vitamins. You're operating in your full vibration. Your full. Now, see, when I talk like this, you think I'm mixing it with New Age or some other religion. I'm not. It's as a teacher, I use certain words to produce certain understanding. Still stand within the bounds of being a Christian. So I'm not straying from it. But also, those who are those who understand spirituality will grasp understanding on what's most important, and how to really do what they're trying to do. And ultimately, that's going to be with Christ, with elevating spiritually. You're not going to be able to do it. Okay? But I bring, and I also add the full Megatron of how you add vitamins to the situation. Now you're able to elevate in spirituality to your full capacity. Because I can show you how many men ate all kind of way they want to eat. They ate everything. Christian men, they did decent in life, but they would have been way better if they understood that if you take your vitamins, you're going to operate in your full capacity. That means your mood, your emotions, your brain is going to be stronger. If my brain is going to be stronger, that's not important. Meaning my thought process, how I handle things, a businessman, definitely I put him on a vitamin. All this business, all this stress, everything, I put him on a vitamin. You know what I'm saying? I can't imagine even how people operate without outside their full capacity. That's what I'm going to be talking about going into 2026. Operating in your full capacity, because everybody think they're doing it, and really, it's hit and miss. It's hit and miss. You have moments, but I'm talking about just living this in this elevated state and progressing forward, not coming down from it like a state of Zen or Nirvana. No, we're going to stay up and stay elevated and progress forward as we're elevated, not coming down. The best way to show you a bird flies and progress up, elevated up. It don't fly on the ground. It goes up and then goes forward and it flies. It don't fly on the ground and say, well, I'm just go straight up. I'm gonna just fly straight up. It didn't do anything. The bird flies up and forward. So you elevate and go forward, right? That's how you're supposed to do it. Not go all the way up to this certain elevation, but you didn't experience none of the dimensions of that elevation. The full capacity of those levels, you don't know nothing about it. Because you didn't live it as a lifestyle. So we're talking about this as a lifestyle, basically. You know, and like I said, you got to have your vitamins to really walk in your best state, because that's going to affect your brain and your mood, right? So how can your vibration be at its best without vitamins if your mind depends on it to be its best? Okay? It's no way around this. And what we try to do is get other things, substance abuse, alcohol, and we're trying to get our minds to be the best. We're trying to get ourselves to be the best. We trying to think in these colorful ways. And all you really need to do is understand the science and the system behind these vitamins. What God put here for you. You know what I'm saying? To have. You know what I'm saying? Dr. CB was right on it. And now how I'm piggybacking off of it is, no pun intended, is the intellectual release that comes from taking the food that you need, what it does to your mentality, your mind. Many of you are foggy minded because you don't eat good. If your diet is super processed food, you ain't gonna think straight. And so if I can get you to super focus on this really works, now you're going to be super intentional about taking certain vitamins. You got money, you could take all kind of high quality different, and I'm telling you, these vitamins are going to change your vibration because it's going to change your mind. See, there are people that don't want you to operate at your best. Even when you go to a restaurant, a grown man shouldn't be eating a little sandwich. So this whole time they broke you down to smaller portions, because even when you go to places like these restaurants, you will go to these restaurants and you will have a certain amount of magnesium in these burgers, these chicken sandwiches. But if you had 3 of those, you will walk away feeling great and better and more operative, if that's a word. You will be able to operate stronger with more magnesium. Back to magnesium, and how you get it naturally. Okay, so because they don't want you to have real higher doses of magnesium, then they got to dumb down the portions, because you're still going to get meat. So how can I stop this person from getting magnesium? Because he going to eat the meat. We are meat eaters. We're carnivores, right, in this country. Okay, so how can I stop them from getting the magnesium? Okay, the portions. And that's how they got you. These little burgers, a McDouble, a McChicken, you're probably getting like what, 30 grams of magnesium? You're supposed to get, look how much more you're supposed to get. 30 grams of magnesium. That's 930 grams less than what you're supposed to get. Now you see what I'm saying. That's 970 grams less of what you're supposed to get. If you just got 30 grams, you're supposed to get 1,000 milligrams of magnesium. So that's why the whole community's vibration is down here. You see what I'm saying? Now pull it full circle. Like I said, I'm piggybacking off of Dr. CB's messages about the wealth, the food and wealth. Food is wealth, basically. The vitamins in food is wealth for your vibration. It's wealth for your vibration. That's why you don't operate in your full capacity, intellectually, spiritually, because you don't have everything you need. If you get everything you need now, boom, it's going to affect your mind. Your vibration going to be different if your mind is different. How it's not going to be different? Think about it. That's why some people, they deficient in B12. Think about a woman deficient in B12. Her vibration going to be thrown off. Now you get it. You know what I'm saying? You go to these fast food restaurants. It's the easiest way to throw a whole community's vibration off, by messing with the food. The easiest way to throw off a whole community's vibration is to destroy the food. That's the quickest way. I'm not saying it's intentional. So listen, I'm not even getting into all of that, because then we go into conspiracy. The bottom line is this: I'm not a conspiracy theorist. You ain't gonna never see me in that lane. But the prophet always gonna touch on things that y'all feel is in conspiracy. Let's put it like that. But I'm not a conspiracy theorist, because I have to only go with what's true. I only feel comfortable talking about what I know for sure, because I can talk about it intelligently. You know what I'm saying? I'll talk about prophecies. That's funny. That's funny for a prophet to say that, but because I don't know, How it's gonna, I don't know how it's gonna happen, but I'll talk about it. Because God is in control of the prophecy, you know. But the way I can dumb down a whole community without even drugs is food. A lack. Hold up, you gonna say chemicals? No, let's go further in advancement in this conversation, because I know you already been talking about the chemicals in the food and everything. No, the portions where that could be super intentional, that lacks vitamins. It lacks vitamins. It lacks vitamins. It lacks enough of the right stuff. The portions are so small, it can't possibly give you what you need. Okay? It can't possibly give you what you need. So a whole community is not getting nothing what they need. And then you got me, I'm walking in my full vibration. It's not autism. It's not retardation. It's not crazy. It's not bipolar. I began to operate in my full capacity of my vibration. And you might say, let my light shine and but at the same time, I'm coming down to earth and doing things in a practical manner to make that happen. I'm joining with God, not being superstitious, where I just think that I'm going to operate my full capacity of my vibration by just doing what the obvious spiritual things that God wants me to do. I have to also use wisdom, and wisdom comes into play with taking my vitamin. Now you see how it affected our whole. Now you get the real information on how these small portions of food, not just the food, not just the chemicals, but the portions were so small, we couldn't even get, it wasn't even enough vitamins for a real man. It don't matter what you eat out there, you ain't gonna get no full, the portions are not gonna make you operate on your highest level of vibration. Unless you go to the Jamaican shops or the African shops where you eat the oxtails. Now you're getting, and when you eat out all that, you're getting, they may have not told you this in a point blank fashion like I am. You're getting all that magnesium from them oxtails. It's high in magnesium. The goat, whatever you're eating that's meat, you know, you're getting the jerk chicken, the jerk beef. You're getting a high dosage of magnesium. You put that over rice and everything, you feel, when you eat all of that, all of it. Because remember, you're not eating just for yourself. You're eating for vitamins. You're eating for vitamins. So that means even though I don't really want to eat all of it, I'm going to do it because I'm going to get the full dosage of the vitamins or nutrients I need, right? So boom, I'm going to eat this whole plate of oxtails. And I'm going to get all that magnesium from all them oxtails. And you notice, you felt better when you ate it, right? You feel good, free, you come outside, you feel great, right? You know why? Because you got magnesium from the oxtails. So when you start eating among your own people, you feel better because the portions are different. It's overflowing. It's so much oxtail, there's so much meat, there's so much this. It's out of love, right? The portions of love, right? That part. So you now you're operating because of the portions of love on your highest level of vibration. But you can't do it every day. You can't do it every day, right? You can't do it every day. You can't go eat oxtails every day. Let's keep it 100. Let's keep it 100. Most likely, you ain't gonna eat a big portion, right? That's why I'm trying to show you. I don't know how to describe it, but our modern day humanity is just not built to eat. Everybody can't eat that like that every day. So on a Sunday afternoon, everybody getting it in, right? Right. But we can't do it every day. Most people ain't built like that. So then what? How do I operate on my highest level of vibration when my mind and my body is operating like I just ate 5 oxtails, right? How can I operate like that every day? I must have a vitamin, a supplement, a natural supplement where I get all my magnesium, right? As a man. Okay? That's how you're going to get your full dosage to make you operate in your full capacity of your vibration, bro. When you go to these restaurants, the burger is so small, you don't walk away feeling nothing. You notice that? Because it's not enough vitamins. You already knew it's fast food, it's no nutrients. No, but it's a piece of meat. So the Jedi mind trick is, I gave you a piece of meat, so I'm canceling you getting some other meat, a bigger portion of meat. I'm gonna make you feel like you ate meat, and you did, but you ain't get enough. But you ain't gonna go get nothing else because you just ate it. So I'm gonna just stop your desire to go get some oxtails, or I just get a burger. I'm gonna take your desire to go get more because I just covered it. All I gotta do is cover it, and then you ain't gonna go get more. Because a black man should have been, oh, yo, let me get like 5 of those. I start thinking like that. Like with burgers, like for a grown man, let me get like 3 of those. Let me get like 4 of those. And it's like, we've been dumbed down to eat like one sandwich. Like we a kid. With fries. And that's it. And a soda. No nutrients in the water. And that's what you've been basically how you need to hear it is that's what you've been operating off of. Your vibration has been operating off of a slice of meat, which means basically you're probably only getting like, I would say between 12 to 30 grams of milligrams of magnesium out of a slice of burger. A quarter pounder, you might, now you're kind of talking, but you, what, 150 at best, 150 milligrams at best, out of one big quarter pounder burgers, them type of burgers in that lane, 150 milligrams of magnesium. See how much you still need? Like 850. Look at that. You still need like 850 a day. And so that's how I rose up as a prophet, man. You know, I realized that my vibration was connected to vitamins. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't articulate it as smoothly as I do now because I rose up into ranks where now I can, with spiritual rank, the higher you rise up, you can articulate everything in your soul that you're doing. I can articulate it better because then that's when I become a teacher. A teacher is just someone who rose up in rank and was able to articulate everything about life. I mean, you pretty much kind of know this stuff, right? But I'm putting emphasis, I'm putting everything in the proper perspective for different various reasons to produce different various results. And most people are not able to do it. So that's what you expect of your teachers. You know, but yeah, you got to be able to, like I said, get these vitamins in every day. It's more important than eating this food. But pay attention to the portions. In the Jedi mind trick, if I give you a little dumb portion, it's nothing. It's not doing anything for you. That's the bottom line. I started looking at this. I've been looking at this for a minute. These little portions. And them little portions ain't doing nothing. We already know they got chemicals and all of that. We already covered that. But I'm talking about the portions. Now let's get to the portions. You're not getting any, your vibration is not going to operate in its full capacity this way. That's why, see, they didn't understand how I was getting above the radar and getting out the matrix because I was going and getting vitamins and the magnesium coming out the matrix because my vibration was coming out the matrix. And they didn't know how I did it. All I did was elevate, get the things that would actually give me my brain, my heart, my body, my temple, its necessities to therefore make my vibration be at its full capacity. and it is linked to food. Your vibration, this is how you need to hear it. Your vibration is connected to food. And like I said, I don't care what kind of gifts you got. I don't care what kind of spirituality you got going on. I mean, you know, your vibration is connected to food. You want me to prove it to you? If you don't eat certain food, you feel crappy, don't you? You ever said that? Oh, I feel like crap. I ate that and I feel bad. You see that part? So then the attack is, besides the deficiency or the lack thereof, the attack is, I'm gonna give you something to make you feel like crap, let alone lifting your vibration. I'm gonna put something in your body to make you feel like crap. You see what happens? You see what happens? That's what happens. And see, you've walked, how many times you walked away? Ooh, I don't feel so good. I shouldn't have ate that sandwich. How many times you done heard somebody in your family, I shouldn't have ate that sandwich, I don't feel good. Those are the counters. All this stuff we know is like, you know, I'm not saying you can't have the little food, you know, but listen, it's not about being a health nut, it's about being a vibrational nut, about your vibration. If I eat this stuff right here, right, I know my vibration ain't gonna operate in its full capacity. So if I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do that at home where I ain't gotta be out here in the streets. Why I can just eat this junk food out here, but I ain't gonna be on the go eating this. And now you see what I'm saying. You out here on the go eating stuff that don't even pull you to elevate to your full capacity. It's vibrationally speaking. And you all out there, and you how you might put a frequency with a low frequency. And the reason why is because of the stuff you eat. Because it's gonna affect your mind. It's gonna affect your body. It's gonna affect your mood. For women, man, it's so sad for women because all the stuff that we eat and everything we've been eating, their emotional levels is so out of whack because of the food. You give them a vitamin, it turns everything around. If the main vitamin they need is B12, a multivitamin and B12. That's what I'm talking about. They gotta have it. Other than that, they're gonna be emotional wreck. You know what I'm saying? Getting by, and it's out of ignorance because God says, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. That applies on everything. If you don't know this about food, you don't have teachers to teach you that your vibration is affected because you're not eating the right stuff. You're not getting a vitamin. You know, I practice what I preach. Listen, buddy, I'm just getting spiritual epiphanies. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? This is gonna help you operate at your best. And how is that not gonna affect your vibration, your spirituality? This is why many men and women of God have been through hell. Because you put your body through hell. You ate everything. Everybody fixing you all this stuff. You know how it is for the first lady and them. They eat good. Everybody fixing them this and that and the third. And now you got diabetes. Now you're a diabetic. Now you got high blood pressure. Because you was destroyed for a lack of knowledge. See, the devil listen, it's more than one way to skin a cat. The devil he ain't gonna always attack you with death and murder. Sometimes he attack you with these different things I just named. High blood pressure, sugar, your sugar getting high and all that stuff. That's how he got you. But it's all back to a lack of knowledge. And then we wait till we get old and then we start taking vitamins. See, if you teach your children, as soon as they turn 18, that's what I would say, as soon as they turn 18, you getting on the vitamin. I'm getting you on the vitamin as soon as you turn 18. Because now you finna get everything you need. Everything. Okay, man, so I'm gonna keep coming back on this, man. I think I summed that up real good. God bless. Everything is gonna go good when you really follow these principles. Glory to God. All glory to God. Hallelujah.